Hi everybody, it's Beth, and today I'm making a snowman shelf sitter. I used 2 of these pieces of chunky wood from Dollar Tree. They're 12 inches. This snowflake stencil from Amazon. The letters that spell out snow from Dollar Tree. 2 skinny sticks from Walmart. Black and white chalk paint. Orange, black and white acrylic paint. Snow text, and hot glue. I started by measuring out the 2 pieces of wood from Dollar Tree. I marked one at 6.5 inches, the other one at 6 inches, and then I used my miter box and saw to cut them both. And then after they were all cut, I sanded them all. And then what I did was just lined them up how I was going to want them. And then used my square and marked on either side just under 4 inches on both sides. And then those marks I had made, I used as my guide and made a straight line across. And then I took them each individually and made that same line across the entire piece of wood. So the whole thing had the line around the entire thing. After I had all my lines made, I used that as my guide and painted the bottom half, which is the larger sections on each of the wood. Painted that with the white chalk paint, and I did 2 coats, making sure to paint the bottoms of them as well. And then after the paint was all dry, I lined them back up again using my square to keep them straight. I just used some masking tape or painter's tape and made a line across all of them so it was nice and even all the way across. And then I took the black chalk paint and painted the top half of each of those pieces. And while the paint was still wet on the front, I took the masking tape and carefully peeled that off. And then I dried them with my heating tool and then painted them the rest of the way. The backs and the sides and the top, and I gave everything 2 coats. And then I folded over a piece of masking tape and put down my letters so they could be painted easier, as well as my skinny sticks. Those were from Walmart. And painted the snow letters and the sticks with the black chalk paint, giving them both 2 coats. And then on the top section of two of the pieces of wood, I stenciled on a couple little snowflakes. Just making sure to have very little paint on the paintbrush or the stencil brush when doing this so it doesn't bleed through. So you just have a nice clean snowflake. And then just use my heating tool to make sure those were nice and dry before moving on. And next I lined them up how I was going to want them because I needed to cut down little hats for the snowman. So what I did was took the skinny sticks and just held them up to each of them and cut them down to size how I would want them. Some of them, I just had to cut them just the size of the piece of wood because those pieces will be in between other two, so the hat can't be sticking out too far. And I did also touch up the ends after I cut them with the black chalk paint just so that unfinished wood wouldn't be showing through. And then once I had them all cut down to size, I just hot glued them into place. And then I had to draw faces on each of them. I was just going to do eyes and nose on each of them. So 2 little circles for the eyes. And I always make sure to use pencil in case I mess up, which I did do a couple times. Drew a little carrot nose. And then I filled in each of the eyes with the black acrylic paint, just using a very small paintbrush. And I did 2 coats on the eyes and the nose. Used black for the eyes and pumpkin orange for the nose. And then after everything was dry, I took a little bit of white acrylic paint and just made a few lines on the nose. Then I used the back of my paintbrush to make the dots in the eyes with the white acrylic paint. And then I glued them all together, just making sure that I had them set up with the hats how I had cut them so they would all fit together. So some of them are a little more pushed forward and some are glued towards the back, so they're not all straight across. And then I glued the letters spelling out snow on each of them. And these I got from Dollar Tree. And the W is a little bit too big for it, hangs over just a little bit. But I think it ended up looking okay. So I just hot glued them all, 1 letter on each snowman. And then next I took the Snow Tex, which I get from Amazon, and just put a little bit on my paintbrush and kind of brushed it on the tops of each of the letters to make it look like it had a little bit of snow on the top of each letter. And then I put some on the top of each of their hats. And that is it for this project. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.